The biggest change that we have from the standard rules is that we use what we call the Elam Ending. This is a concept where we play to a target score, and every game ends on a made basket. So I think that is probably the rule that folks, if they know about TBT, that they know us for, is that Elam Ending concept. That's the biggest change. Our fundamental rules of how the game is played are based upon college rules primarily. We'll use high-level Division I refs everywhere we go, guys that you've seen on TV, Big 12 refs that I'm sure you're watching now this year with how Houston is doing in the Big 12. But fundamentally, the rules are college rules. We use a college three-point line. We do play 4 9-minute quarters, so the game is a little bit shorter than you're used to.
Okay.
This game is over in a flash. Our average game time is about 1:45. And so you don't have time to kind of get into the rhythm. You need to be in the rhythm the minute that ball is tipped. They're very competitive, as you can imagine, with this being a single elimination tournament for $1 million. These games are very hard fought. We want the games to be settled on the court rather than at the free throw line typically. So we'll let the guys play and handle it the way that they would, either in a pickup gym or, just in a very hard fought game. So what you see in our style of basketball is aggressive defense, really, really hard nosed, picks are set. It's just a great form of basketball. John and I both grew up watching a lot of Big East basketball in the 80s and 90s, not to entirely date ourselves. But if you know anything about the Big East back then, that was the physical conference in the country. And that's why those teams did so well every year in the NCAA tournament. And that's kind of the model, generally speaking, of what we try to play with an on-court play perspective. The Elam Ending really is the thing that stands out. If you haven't seen it, Chris, it's so much fun to watch. Every one of these games ends on a made basket. And every one of them basically is like a buzzer beater, So the general concept, and I can explain it to those who aren't familiar, is that at the end of the game, in the last 4 minutes, the clock is turned off. We then add 8 to the team that's in front, and then that becomes the target score. So if the score is 72-70 at that 4-minute mark, the game clock gets turned off, the target score becomes 80, and the first team to 80 wins. Now, what you get as a result of that is you don't have any of the end of the game fouling. Nobody's trying to stop the clock. You have to play good defense. If you get a stop, you can get the ball back and you can get that score back to where you need it to be. But it's super, super exciting. And once we did it in that the first trial round that we did in 2017, we were just convinced that this was the future. So we kept doing it.